What's up, guys? We are back at it again. So now we have another highly anticipated video. This is by Jeff Favignano. So before I click on that, I do want people to please go to Jeff's channel, at least give the video a like and check it out on its own, right? Give him credit. That's his video. It's his content. Anything that I cover is strictly based on someone else's content. I'm reacting to it. So this is not my content, obviously. So as we watch this, I haven't seen this yet. This just popped up, as you could see up here, 6 minutes ago. It's a pretty long video. This is probably going to be longer than the first video I did of Anthony Alfredo's earlier today. I'm not going to catch everything. I'm going to, pause, comment on certain things as they pop up, maybe even go back a little bit. Please be patient. And anything, this is, there's a lot of stuff coming out today. So tomorrow, I haven't locked in a time yet, but I'm going to do a live stream. Those of you who are interested in having this discussion, giving me your thoughts on all of this stuff, asking questions. I don't know if I have answers for you, but I can probably guess on certain things that make sense to me. A lot of the questions people do have of what we're witnessing with all of this gameplay so far. So without further ado, let me get into this.
Hello everyone and welcome to my gameplay of NASCAR 25. This is raw with a couple edits just to remove copyrighted music. This gameplay is captured at 1440p at 54.51 frames per second. I will let the full gameplay play uninterrupted before I go into my experience and thoughts. Stay tuned to the end of the video where I rode along with Xfinity driver Nick Sanchez in a stock car at Charlotte. A huge thanks to iRacing, Monster, and NASCAR for making this all possible. I am incredibly humbled I am in the position to show you all this game. I'm so excited to show this to you. Let's get into the gameplay.
Welcome to Worldwide Technology Racing, where speed, skill, and adrenaline collide.
All right, as you could see in the bottom, it says this gameplay capture is at 54.51 frames per second. That's pretty impressive to me. A lot of games, I mean, I know it's 2025. These are powerful consoles, but for some reason, developers are having a hard time giving us exceptional graphics with performance, in terms of frame rate. It's just the way it is. But so far, from what we know and what we're starting to see, I've been pretty impressed so far. To be able to get that level of performance with the graphics that we're watching is pretty impressive to me. So let's go.
Get ready for an action-packed weekend of high-octane racing. From the roar
Listen to the cars.
thrill of the tight corners, every lap comes with heart-pounding excitement.
All right, real quick. The atmosphere, amazing. The sound of the cars doing laps while the announcer is announcing. I mentioned this in Anthony Alfredo's video. I really love the atmosphere of the sound. Like, you really feel like you're there. I know I go to a lot of NASCAR races. I've been going to a lot of NASCAR races for over 20 years. And I can tell you, this is what it sounds like when you're there. There's this, echo in the distance as you hear the announcer. The car is speeding by. It really sounds authentic. I cannot emphasize that enough. Even here.
Practice is in full swing, and drivers are heading out onto the track.
And thanks, Jeff. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to get a taste of that atmosphere. What is this game going to sound like? It just sounds incredibly authentic.
Fire her up and let's get out there.
man, with a good pair of headphones, this has to be something else.
Take your time out there and let the car come to you.
So, okay, AI is set to 97. So we know that it goes all the way up to 105. Matt Lewis did mention that earlier. And then I guess there's a secondary setting. So it says, he said it had it one below expert. Hold on a second. Yeah, one setting lower than expert, which is the hardest. So there's two sets of settings. That's what it sounds like. And I like that because it just means you can tune your experience even that much further. And that's always a good thing. The mirror is really good. Like, the detail in the mirror is really sharp. And again, let me emphasize, this game is running at pretty much 60 frames. And to have this level of detail graphically in things like the mirrors and all that, you know, if you play on PC, you know what I'm talking about. Where you have to make compromises in the settings, the graphic settings, whatever, in order to get a decent frame rate for a lot of games, right? Some games are just optimized better than others. So far, right? And this is not a final verdict, but from what I've seen so far, I'm really amazed at how good the game looks and still has a high frame rate. To be able to do that on a console is really impressive so far, okay? I always got to put that caveat in there because you got to be ready. You know, I won't be surprised if we find issues at some point. They're making it difficult, but I'm impressed. Okay, no wall avoidance, no driving assist. So, what this tells me is there are options to click on wall avoidance, which probably means that if you get, the closer you get to the wall, the game helps you maintain stability where you don't like lose control and bang into the wall. This is good stuff for people that are casual, that probably may find it difficult to race in a game with a hand controller, or just don't have a lot of experience with it. And he says no driving assist. So this is straight up, I guess, no assists at all.
Inside door. Clear side.
Sputter seems pretty accurate. Look at how smooth the frame rate is, right? So this looks way better than the footage that has been previously uploaded, whether it's trailer or teaser type stuff. This is why I emphasize to people, this is all video compression. Like those anomalies that you see when you're watching, whether it's frame rate stutter or maybe some noise, right? It's all part of compression. The video compression when you're uploading stuff to YouTube or whatever. So this looks fantastic, and I cannot emphasize enough how amazing the sound of the game is. And the reason I'm so excited about that is because if you just go back throughout the whole history of NASCAR games, one of the first complaints has always been the cars don't sound right. They sound like remember lawnmowers and stuff like that. Not only the car, it's just the entire spectrum of sound, the whole ambient sound. Everything is on point. It just sounds amazing to me. And I cannot emphasize enough how important sound is to a game, especially racing games. I've preached that for years. Those of you who've followed me all this time, you know there are certain things that I really focused on that I felt were missing, and these guys are nailing it right out of the box. Again, I gotta pull back a bit. I don't want to get carried away. At some point we're gonna find something to criticize, but they're making it hard right now. So. Here, he's not just on the clock. You gotta play with it. I mean, without assist, Jeff had really good control. I'm gonna have a hard time. It is super sharp. I mean, it doesn't look this good on iRacing. Like, again, it's probably, graphic settings, things like that. But it is, you get the image all the way to the back, to the end of the track. And there's no one, if you look at the track map here, obviously there's no one behind them. But from even Alfredo's video, everything it's in the mirror. Like, there is nothing missing. There's no shortcuts being taken. So I don't know how they were able to make this look and run so good and so smooth at the same time. This is quite an achievement on a console. So just pointing that out.
Adjustments. Let us know what the car needs.
Look at, oh my God. You do have to be an engineer to figure this out. So I'm not ever going to give up on pushing, for like having a crew chief that is more active in the game and helps you, guide you through this and all that stuff. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna beat that thing to the end. I'm gonna die on that hill. That is something that NASCAR games need. But this is not Ignition. Everything is here. It's complicated. That's never going to get over. The firing that car up, it's
a good feel for the car and see if we can hit our goal out there.
This is good. Like, he did a few laps, came in, made an adjustment, and now he's going back out. This is not bad at all. You could see the cars in the distance, in the rear view. There's a challenge here. I'm not a game developer, but I know that there's some challenges to making all of this work properly. I mean, motorsport games couldn't do it. You guys wanted gameplay, and it's here finally. The sound is so satisfying. You can see it was a little bit loose on exit. So he made an adjustment. It does seem to be making a change in the car. It wasn't a big adjustment, but that was the first time I noticed that he was loose on the exit. It wasn't by a lot, but let's see here. This is the wider turn. One end of this track is a bit wider. Yeah, so that wasn't. We're gonna see here. Did he meet the goal? I think that yeah.
How's the car feeling so far? 10-4.
So, good job by Jeff. He let us see like the options you have during practice, working on the car. And I like the way that it's implemented. Love hearing from the crew chief. It's really good so far.
As the session comes to a close, let's take a look at the results.
All right, so he's going to qualify.
It's time for qualifying.
And, you know, one thing I was looking forward to with these next-gen consoles, they're really current-gen at this point, is how quick you load to wherever you're supposed to go. Remember the old days of waiting and waiting for something to load in? It's almost seamless at this point, so.
Drivers are on the track, battling the clock for a shot at the pole.
Time to do this.
Well, I like that. Even that little bit right there, this is just qualifying.
Let's take a look at the results.
So this is part of the presentation right here. I went back too far, sorry.
It's time for qualifying. Drivers are on the track, battling the clock for a shot at the pole.
It's simple. It's a little thing, but details matter. I love that stuff.
Time to do this. Don't hold back now. Let's get a good starting position. You're clear out.
Jeff has good car control. I know it's going to take me a little time to get used to the
This is the one that counts. Way to push out there. We'll make up some spots on race day, don't worry.
That's not bad. 15th.
Let's take a look at the results of this session.
Oh, they give you the option to restart it if you just want to do it again.
Today's not just about flat-out speed. It's also about grace, throttle control, and nerves and speed. We're just outside
Okay,
St. Louis.
this is different.
We're
A
getting
little,
ready for the
you get a different
Command
angle
Worldwide
from what we saw with
Technology and the
Alfredo.
Illinois
Look at this. We didn't see that last time. I thought this was a really cool machine. I cannot play it. Oh, okay, so there's. All right, so what he's saying is that this music is just, I guess, this is not what the game is, I guess, but sadly cannot play it. Yeah, so licensing issues, or you gotta be careful on YouTube.
Be ready. There's the green flag. Car outside.
This is tough track.
One outside. Outside now. One high. Stay low. One high.
Oh, you have to actually hit the brake there a little bit.
Stay low. They're outside. One
Okay,
outside.
so look, the AI is
Clear high
running
if you want
different
it.
lines
One high.
right up the jump.
Clear up top. One outside. Pull your line.
You can touch the curb, you're not gonna
They're all around.
just like hitting a patch of ice like with the heat paint. So he completed that pass. He's got, looks like
Car inside.
Carson closer car on the inside. Yeah, he went up a little high.
Clear low if you want it. One at the bottom.
Over the corner just a little bit.
Clear, all clear.
Jeff has good control with the hand control. I think I'm gonna be a little bit like this at first. Really smooth. There's a roof cam which is a little higher up. This is the hood cam. And you can see the reflection on the hood. All of this, it takes up performance. So it's impressive to see how good this thing is running. Very smooth frames. No, there's no compromise that I can see. Wow, this looks like a lot of fun. Alright,
One up high.
it's lap 6.
5 to go. Clear outside.
And he's not just storming through the field. It doesn't feel like he's holding back. Like it looks like he's really trying. I can't tell you. I mean, only he could tell you how hard he was pushing. But he's not really making big mistakes. He overdrove the corner a couple of times a little bit. A lot less than Anthony Alfredo, who, it doesn't matter if you're a real race car driver or not. It's different. Playing a game and racing in real life is not exactly the same thing. But Jeff is driving a lot more the way I try to drive, which is maintain control of the car and not really do any quote-unquote video game moves, like just dive bombing and punting cars out of the way. He's racing the way I like to race myself, as realistically as possible, right? Yeah, if you're down to a lap to go or something, or there's a moment where you got to make a move and the race is coming to a close, yeah, you're gonna push a little harder and do something maybe that you wouldn't do 20 laps ago, but very, very smooth. Like if you put a camera inside of a race car, or you watch an in-cam car view from a race that you're watching on TV, this looks a lot more like what you would see. No really stupid moves, pacing yourself, getting what you can out of the car without overstepping. So I appreciate that. And this is a little bit more of what I wanted to see. With Anthony Alfredo's video, really good video, but it did look a lot more like what you normally see, like people playing a video game. Like it's you know, he overdrove it quite a bit. I'm sure in a longer race, he would pretty much figure out a rhythm, and it wouldn't be that way the whole race. But yeah, this is, I can't find any real criticism. The AI is spread out. They're running different lines. They seem aware. You know, they have good sense of awareness from what I see so far. It looks like fun. This is probably the view I'm going to race with. Right here. There's a second cockpit view, which is a little more further back. I don't like that one as much. This one feels more authentic. Like, where would my head be in relation to the cockpit inside the car? This feels a lot more realistic. The other one, you're further back. It just feels like you're too far back. And this one is just right. The AI, I think you guys probably, I got bad memory, but I think it said 97 or 98 for the AI. This is so far really good. I was worried, right? Like I was kind of worried it might be a little too simple, easy, and it might change or vary from track to track. But I'm really satisfied with what I'm seeing right now. Look bad. I don't know. I may have to play with the different teams. Okay. Now, one thing we have yet to see, we may see it. I know there are people out there that are worried about, like this view right now. They want to be able to pan around with the camera, like with the right thumbstick. I haven't seen anyone do that yet, so I don't know if you're able to do that. I have yet to see that, so...
One high. 2 to go. Stay low. You're all clear. Car outside.
that's another thing I noticed about Alfredo in his video and what you just saw now. Even though this is not a full-blown simulator, it is really good in terms of physics and realism so far. If you overdrive the corner, you will pay a price. So I love that, because I think a lot of times people are used to treating these cars like inanimate objects and just like, okay, it's a game, and they can get away with overdriving a corner, smashing into a wall, and still completing a pass. And you could see, like, if you overdrive the corner here, you have to let off the throttle. And that's realistic, and that's what you want to see. The car does look like there's some weight to it, at least watching it. This is all good stuff.
Inside now.
Whoa!
You're all clear? Clear low.
He came back. I love that. He came back. He took the spot back.
Good finish, driver. We'll take a top 20.
I mean, I'm sure Jeff didn't like that, but that's what I want to see. I thought he had him cleared. He came back and he cut that corner and he did a good job. And he didn't like punt Jeff out the way, but Jeff left enough of a hole and he filled it and he took the spot back. That's what I want to see with the AI. I don't want them to be like, okay, you complete a pass and then you could just forget about them. They just fall back and fade away. I want to see where they fight back and they could retake a spot. This is very impressive for, let's see, hold on. I'm looking at the bottom. Harder than expert. And then at some point he put, no, wait a minute. Car stability 15%. Okay, I missed that. So he actually has a little stability into it. That's probably helping him keep the car smooth. Yeah, because I was really impressed with how easy he seems to be keeping control of the car. Let's see. One setting lower than expert. I'm trying to find where it said what the AI was set at, but it was 97 or 98. I'm really impressed with this. He pretty much was in the ballpark of where he started. This is really impressive to me. I was kind of worried a little bit. This really helped.
As the session comes to a close, let's take a look at the results.
This is nice too. You got your manufacturer, your team, where you finish. This is very nice, very clean. And of course, replay. So I don't know if they're going to show replay, but... listen to the sound.
And that is the gameplay of NASCAR 25 at Worldwide Technology Raceway with the next-gen car. I just want to say that I'm not a review channel or anything like that, so I tend to be very optimistic when a new game comes out as a fan of NASCAR gaming. What I saw and what I played is basically what Monster Games always wanted the Heat series to be. They have the passion and they really do care about the community and what we all want from a game. NASCAR 25's wiping the slate clean and it's a clear foundation for the future. Will it be perfect 10 out of 10? Probably not. You'll probably find things that you don't like and you'll probably see a lot of things that you do like. But it's different from person to person, and what I deem as a must-have is very different to other players. I don't think in NASCAR 25 they're going to please everybody. You might be asking, why did you choose Worldwide Technology Raceway? Well, I wanted to have an intermediate track or something that had short track feel to it, but it is also my hometown track in St. Louis. Other creators were out there on super speedways and stuff. I didn't focus on crashing. I didn't focus on like anything other than my experience of racing the AI. I thought it was a really nice touch to have music pumping through the PA right before you fire the engines up, just like it would be at a real race. However, it's copyrighted music, so I am not going to show it. I didn't test to see how long you could sit on pit road without starting the engine, but it seemed like you could just sit there as long as you wanted to. During my play session of NASCAR 25, I got to meet two creators I've collabed with in the past, Neological and Komodo Gaming, for the very first time. I was sitting next to Neil, trying not to bother him while projecting my voice and glancing over my shoulder to see what Komodo was up to. Truly great people through and through, and it was a pleasure to meet them. They had their wives with them, and they were really nice and outgoing people. If you're watching this, hello, and thanks for making the trip so much better than it already was. I also met other creators like Matt Malone, Roblox YouTuber Kat, eNASCAR champ Casey Kerwin, Jarrett the Iceberg, and more people I'm probably forgetting, and I am sorry for that. There was a lot going on. When I was driving the trucks and I was driving the Xfinity cars, that's whenever I kind of tested to see how the caution system worked out. But the caution system to me seemed really fair. Like I cleared myself off of somebody's nose, spun around, hit the wall, and there was smoke and everything when it happened. And then the yellow came out pretty much right after that. There was no caution replays or anything like that. It was just, hey, do you want to pit or do you want to stay out?
Okay, so I know people have been wanting to see caution replay system. I would love to see that as well. But that's not going to make or break the game for me at this point. As long as they have that on their, pinned up on their to-do list for the future, I'm okay with that. I do want to see caution replays at some point down the future. I thought it was a really cool part of the old school games. So, yeah, it's disappointing that it's not in there, but it's, looking at what so far this game seems to be turning out to be, it's not going to make a difference to me in terms of how I view this game. But I would like to know that they have that pinned up on their to-do list, because I really think people would like to see, those quick caution replays that we used to get. I think it adds a lot to the game.
One thing you'll notice at the main menu was driver ratings. Drivers have their own ratings at different tracks based on actual data that is given to them. So let's say that SVG is 100% on every road course. The driving was something I haven't felt in a NASCAR game. I've been kind of racking my brain to think of how to explain it other than Simcade to me. It's not iRacing. It's not like a full-blown simulation where you feel like the car's stepping out on you constantly. But to me, the cars feel planted in the ground and they're a ton of fun to drive. The next gen car was aero tight, and I tried to do some side drafting and stuff to see how that would behave, and it seems like it is there. It could be placebo, I don't know, I didn't have enough time with the game. Driving the Xfinity car and the trucks were a ton of fun because they do drive off the right rear, and you have to wrestle them around the track, which I really enjoyed. The very first time I got on the track, the car just was so tight, I drove right into the wall, and it was my fault because I wasn't expecting the car to behave that way. So you can't just throw it into a corner and it sticks. The best way I can explain it is basically Forza vibes or a dumbed down iRacing physics engine. Another thing is that all the different series have their own sounds and you can really hear it. The game is on Unreal Engine 5, so it has that Unreal Engine 5 look to it, but it's definitely polished. To me, with the Heat games, it always felt like the cars drove like they were driving on the Z-axis, your yaw back and forth, and it felt unnatural and the cars felt a little floaty on top of the track. This is not the case in NASCAR 25. You really have to learn how to roll the center of the corner and also to set the car into the corner, meaning you're gonna have to do some trail braking or add a little bit of brake on entry so that it will set the car down into the corner better than you just shooting up the track into the wall. I did like that you had to shift around Worldwide Technology Raceway. That is accurate. You have to be disciplined on the triggers if you're using a gamepad, meaning that you can't just slam the gas and slam the brakes. It's not going to work out for you. Now you can change the draft effects and all that stuff inside of the settings, but I pretty much just left it all as it was when I sat down. Career mode looks pretty promising. I really liked what I saw of it. If you're a big fan of Dale Jr. and the Dale Jr. download, you're going to be in for a big treat there. However, some of those can be a little long-winded for me, but we'll see how it ends up being in career. We got to see the ARCA car at the Rock, and I really like the presentation of all of the cars having the individual bouncing suspensions. There's no canned effect of you going down the track and the car just randomly bouncing on you. It's based on the laser scan data. So you do have a lot of camera options. You have the chase view, you have a further back one. To me, they have a GTA 5 look to them, which I'm really, really happy to see. You have the hood camera, which I'm not a big fan of. You have the roof cam, which I really did like. I love the reflections that you could see of the car in front of you. And then you get two different FOVs for the inside of the car. You have that zoomed in version, and then you have the zoomed out version that shows more of the wheel. I couldn't really tell which one I liked more, but I'm probably gonna go with the further out one just so I can have the side mirror. One thing that you won't see in this gameplay is that you can hit the B button on the controller, and at the top left corner, it'll open up and show you all the race information you need to know. And then if you hit it again, it'll show you the relative, basically the other drivers that are around you. And then if you hit it again, you'll get all of the data that you would see in previous NASCAR titles, like your engine damage, your wheel damage, the tires, all that stuff. It's all in that little menu. The damage I did see was nothing spectacular. I would classify it as iRacing's damage model before they had the recent revamp where everything goes flying off the car. So basic crumples and internal damage. I love that we have custom setups as an option, so you can go in and make adjustments when you're at a practice session.
I just want to pause it real quick. Let's see, it's pretty simple. I like this. You got it here, which is neutral, and then you can make it tighter in percentages and looser. I mean, outside of, we already know there's a very deep and complex setup, page. This is really good for just, jumping in and getting things done.
Go in and make adjustments when you're at a practice session, and then go out on the track and see results. That's really, really cool, and I know a lot of people have been asking for that. In the comments below, let me know not just what you thought of the gameplay, but also what's your favorite driver, what's your favorite track. Now, there is 2 tracks that are missing off the 25 schedule, and that is Portland for Xfinity and Mexico for NASCAR. To me, these are not deal breakers. I really don't care about
I agree.
that. To me, having major tracks missing would be a different thing. But I'm in the camp that, you know what, if we're losing 2 road courses, oh well. And perhaps there'll be future DLC. I really don't know what is going to happen with that. iRacing just recently did those tracks, so perhaps they do have plans for.
That's why they're not in the game. They just barely got it into iRacing service. So they told us from the beginning, if it's in iRacing and it's on the schedule, it's going to be in the game, because that's what they're doing. That's how they were able to get most of this game built, is because a lot of the assets of iRacing, the tracks and the cars, which is a huge part of these games, they were able to import that and use those assets, right? Otherwise, this game would still be in development for God knows how long. So if it wasn't in iRacing early enough, it's not going to be here. And there's 2 tracks, like Mexico and Portland. I'm sorry, it's not that big a deal. It might be there for the next game, whenever that is, but it also depends on the schedule. Like Mexico City may not be back on the schedule anyway. It's not going to be in DLC, I don't think, either, because they just got this into iRacing not that long ago. It's not going to be something they could just pour it in overnight.
For it, but it wasn't finalized and they couldn't port it into the game yet. So like I said before in text, they were on skilled default, which is 1 lower than the expert or the hardest level. The AI is at 97%, stability at 15% for the car. No wall avoidance, no driving assists. I do wish I would have gotten some of my Xfinity footage and or the trucks. I drove Sheldon Creed's car at Charlotte, and then I also drove Rajah Caruth's truck at Richmond. I ended up winning the Richmond race, believe it or not. It was a tight battle between me and Corey Heim, but man, it was a ton of fun. And also in the Xfinity side of things, I purposely wrecked Austin Hill as a fun thing, and I was sad I didn't get that footage. All right, enough of me yapping. I'm gonna show you my ride along in its entirety around Charlotte with...
Okay, please do me a favor, go to Jeff's channel, go to this video, give him a thumbs up, let him know I sent you there. He deserves credit for his content. I really enjoyed the gameplay here. I'm having a hard time finding things to really pick apart and criticize. The game looks fantastic. It sounds amazing. The gameplay is super smooth. We know it's 60 frames, right? Or just right there. There's a lot of detail and the car, it looks like it's fun to play, right? Which is the most important thing. The AI is better, even I feel even better about it than with the Anthony Alfredo footage. Again, we don't know what all the settings were exactly. Also, it probably varies a little bit depending on which track you're on. The important thing is the cars do spread out. They do run different lines. I know some people talked about Alfredo's video and they were like, well, at Homestead we only saw like 2 cars take the high line. That was a 6-lap race, quick race, right? I'm pretty sure that if you play a regular race in career mode and you run 25-50% length race, you're going to see tire wear kick in. You're going to see these cars drift around. You may see more cars take the high line. I can't guarantee that until I play the game, but it seems to make sense to me. The cars look like they have weight to them. The sense of awareness, I don't see problems there. This looked like a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed the last couple of laps where he passed Busher. Busher came right back and took the spot. It didn't feel like anything was given to him. I don't know what else to say, guys. This thing is looking really good. I know that some of you may feel like I'm being too positive about this, but I can't criticize any issues until I see them. I have yet to see anything major, any major red flags. Really, I think if you were really worried about this game, I think today we've seen 2 gameplay videos, and I don't know how. I would think if you were on the fence, this may be enough to get you interested. So I hope we get more gameplay. I don't know if we are. I was really looking forward to this. And Jeff came through as always. And Alfredo's video was really good as well. So maybe, I don't want to make promises, sometime tomorrow afternoon, early evening, I may do a live stream. And those of you who are interested, you can come. We could talk about the game, what we've seen so far. And if you have questions, right? I don't know if I can answer those questions because I haven't played the game, but I could give you my insight into what I've seen and what makes sense to me. So, yeah, if you guys, if you're up for it, you can join in. Give me your thoughts on what you've seen and any questions you might have. Or maybe things I missed, right? Because I don't catch everything the first time around. So I look forward to your comments. Later, guys.